How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. These numbers are jaw-dropping. The amount of money that is about to flow into Bitcoin is nuts, and it really hasn't even started yet. Yeah, we're moving up, and people are getting excited. It is exciting to see numbers that we haven't seen in a long time, but this is really nothing yet. Believe me, the numbers I'm about to show you will show you that there's a lot of money that's going to flow into Bitcoin. And this is just like the beginning, like right when you turn on a faucet, like those first drops before it starts pouring out. That is what's happening right now. Now, if you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one. There is a link down there to Margex in case you want to try this out. There's no KYC, which means you don't have to put in your social security number, you don't have to put in your name, you don't have to put in where you live. You just put in an email, a password, and check their terms and conditions, and you can start trading. They have a deposit bonus as well that can be used towards fees. Also, we are at a pretty interesting level. Like, we are at a little bit of resistance, which I don't think will last for that long, honestly. But if you scroll back, you can actually see we're at a very similar level to where we have been in the past. Like, we went to about 53,000, 52,000 a couple times right here. And we are like right there. If we break this, we can move quickly up to 58,000 before we see any more kind of resistance. I would not be surprised if this happened. And if it does, people that are in long positions are going to make a lot of money. And if you want to try this out, this might be a good time to do so. Of course, there comes some risk. There's also a link down there to the algorithm. There's also a link down there to HGAlgo, which is an indicator that you can hook up directly to your TradingView. That actually tells you when we're moving bullish or bearish, and it's done extremely well for, this is for short-term trading, but there's also part of it where they help you DCA. The algo will tell you when to DCA into the market or DCA out of the market. But you can see here, it flashed bullish momentum, and then we had a massive move up. It flashed bullish momentum, we had a massive move, a little pullback, and then massive move. Bullish momentum, we're up still from there. Bullish momentum, big move up. So it can be really useful for short-term trading, and it can be useful for long-term investing as well if you have the DCA feature, and it goes right into your TradingView. Now, a lot of people think that Bitcoin's moving up because the big institutions are buying. And that's true, right? We are moving up because people are investing in Bitcoin. You know, it's kind of interesting when you see it like this. A lot of people are divesting from gold. They're actually selling gold and maybe putting into Bitcoin. Maybe it's just a coincidence that Bitcoin's moving up and we're getting inflows in Bitcoin. But you can see here, it looks like a pretty aggressive buying spree by the big institutions the last 5 days. 8,000 Bitcoin, 12,000, 10,000, 12,000, 7,000, with the last day being a little bit smaller. But a lot of people don't realize that they haven't even started really buying heavily yet. Yeah, Blackrock owns 5.4 billion, and that's great. That's a lot that causes the pressure to go up. But for BlackRock, that's actually quite small still. I mean, we've been doing this for a month, and they've barely started buying. They have 10 trillion in assets under management. So they now have about 0.05% of their AUM in Bitcoin. That's small, right? That is barely anything. They still are getting clients comfortable with Bitcoin. This is, again, 1/20th, this is 1/2000th of the money that they have now put into Bitcoin. 1/2000th. Imagine you have $2,000 and then you pay $1 for something, right? That's how little they've put into Bitcoin so far. And you have to realize too, their AUM is growing. Like, it was 9.43 at the end of Q2 2023. The S&P 500 is actually up about 12% since that time. And of course, they have other assets that aren't stocks that probably haven't appreciated as quickly, but they have over $10 trillion. I'm pretty sure right now they have over $10 trillion, and it's going to keep growing. Like, let's assume that their AUM grows by 5% a year for the next 6 years. They're going to be at $13.4 trillion. So they still have barely allocated anything towards Bitcoin. Again, 1 2,000th of the amount of money that they have in AUM. So they're bound to continue to get more and more clients onboarded to buy Bitcoin, to put 1% or 5% allocation into Bitcoin. And this is just BlackRock. Like, we haven't even talked about Fidelity. We haven't talked about ARK Invest. Like, all of these companies contribute to how much money is going to be, or how much Bitcoin is going to be bought. Think about it this way. If there's $30 trillion in AUM that wants a 1% allocation to Bitcoin, that's $300 billion. And so far they put in a whopping 8 billion, 10 billion. Like, it's barely anything. And then it continues to grow after that because assets continue to grow. And that's with 1% allocation. Some institutions think you should have a lot more than that. Kathy Wood recently said that she had about 25%, I believe, in Bitcoin. And she says the optimal Bitcoin portfolio allocation for 2023 was 19.4%. This is up from what she said in the past. 2015, she said 0.5%. 2022, she said 6.2%. She said 19.4% is the optimal allocation. And this isn't even a large allocation amount compared to some other institutions. For example, this paper from BlackRock recommended an 84.9% Bitcoin allocation. Now, they're looking purely at the math, not necessarily looking at the psychology of investing, but 85% Bitcoin allocation just because it outperforms. And there are a lot of institutions still that haven't been able to buy, or that haven't allowed their investment advisors to start selling. So we're talking about BlackRock and Fidelity and ARK Invest, but there is probably just as much money sidelined that isn't buying Bitcoin yet. And a lot of people will be caught off guard. A lot of people will see, oh, GBTC is going to sell a bunch of Bitcoin, like $1.3 billion, and that will stop them from buying. It'd be like you're on an island and there's enough food for anyone, right? And you see this giant boat of passengers, let's say 10 times, 100 times the amount of passengers coming to the island, and they're starving, and you see them coming, but you decide that you want to sell your food to the next door neighbor for pennies on the dollar because you think that there's just enough for everyone. No, there's not enough for everyone. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but you can see that there's not enough, but you're looking at the short term. You're not looking 10 minutes into the future, and not literally 10 minutes into the future. You're not looking a year in the future at all this freaking demand and where we are in the cycle. You need to get out of your own way and make sure that you don't think too short term. Again, there's so many institutions that aren't buying. There's so many pensions and governments that are looking at it but haven't quite pulled the trigger. And they cause massive amounts of buying pressure. So this buying that we've seen recently is just the beginning. This is barely anything. Like I said, barely anything for BlackRock. If they want to get up to a 1% allocation, they need to do 20 times the buying that they've done so far. And that's just a 1% allocation with their assets. Of course, some people won't opt into that 1% allocation, but some people will say 5%, 10%. I know I own more than 1% of my portfolio in Bitcoin, for sure. So I think there are going to be people that want a larger allocation, obviously. So I've talked a lot about Bitcoin. Let's talk about Coinbase. Coinbase exchange volume is trending up just in time for today's earnings call. I would not be surprised if they have an explosive earnings today and really bullish guidance. There have been a lot of companies recently that have had good earnings but haven't really had great guidance. I would not be surprised if Coinbase bucks that trend because we're going into a bull market. They are working with a lot of the institutional clients, a lot of the ETFs, and they're going to make money from that. They're making money from their USDC earn that you can get an APY. They're just taking that and going and putting in treasuries. They're making money all over the place, and they're making money from retail investors as well. So I would not be surprised if they made a good amount of money. Plus, it's a good sign because they do reinvest in crypto when they make money. There are a lot of other cryptocurrencies that are up too. I mean, Bitcoin's above that $52,000 mark. Ethereum is up pretty decently in the last 7 days, up 15.6%. Solana up about 15%. Some laggers, right, like Cardano, XRP, they're below, and Chainlink, Dogecoin, Tron, Polkadot, they're all below Bitcoin right now in the last 7 days. Actually, I think everything except Avalanche in the top 10, top 15 are down against Bitcoin. Actually, top 20 really. So yeah, there's some though that are outperforming. Like I talked about Tencent just a few days ago when it was around 60 cents, 69 cents. I said that I was buying, and it's up like 56% in 7 days, just a huge amount. And people are saying that this is a scam and stuff. No, it's a successful launch pad. I don't think it's too late for this one. I don't think it's too late for Operation Phoenix too. Operation Phoenix getting close to all-time highs. This is a much smaller cryptocurrency, just a $7 million market cap, but really cool what they're doing over there. And then also Syncus up a lot, 192% in 7 days. Like there are cryptos that are outperforming. Just make sure that you're on the right ones. Make sure that you know your own risk profile as well. Most of my portfolio is in Bitcoin, but I do have some in those cryptocurrencies there. And if you haven't already done your taxes, make sure that you have your crypto taxes taken care of. Governments are cracking down on wallets. We've seen that a lot recently. If you guys want, you can book a call with our team at BCM where you can get your crypto taxes done, where we look at every transaction by hand. We go through every single transaction, make sure that we record the fees, make sure that we record everything that's useful, because a lot of other platforms don't do it well. They try to plug it in their system and it just doesn't work, or it doesn't account for every fee or every rug pull, and then you can lose out on money. Also, you want to make sure that you actually do your crypto taxes. Like a lot of people just try to get away with not doing them, but that might bite you in the butt massively one day. So definitely check out the link underneath the video to that, the algo, and also to Margex. Let me know what you think about this. Has BlackRock really started buying yet, or is this just the beginning? I appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.